Hello, Akira here, and welcome to Conquest of Elysium 4. This will be my fourth playthrough of the game, and for those of you that are new to the channel, I first started as the Demonologist, then I played as Roboticus the Enchanter, and last I played the Witch class, which was very fun. So this go-around, I've taken your advice and put up a straw poll to let you choose the class you want me to play the most. And that actually was a very, very close race. As of this morning, it was tied between the Necromancer and the Bakemono, so I thought I was going to have to do a coin flip, but I let it sit a little bit longer, and the Bakemono actually pulled it out by one vote, 7-6. So that is going to be the class we're playing today, which I'm kind of excited about. As you guys have mentioned, they're sort of an untouched class, and people don't tend to choose them first, so it would be something that maybe will be unique and fun. Now, as I had also mentioned, this is going to be an epic play. And what that basically means is we're going to play on the largest map, bump up the difficulty settings a little bit, and fill the whole map with AI. So I'm not exactly sure what the consequences of that will be, but either way, it will be epic, right? And for those of you that are new, and you may not know this, but for those of you that have been around a while, you'll know that when I started playing the game, I wasn't that good. I had not played any of the Conquest of Elysium games, and what was really fun is with your help and all your comments, I was actually able to grow as a player a lot. So now I'm playing with tactics and strategy and a perception that I definitely didn't have before. And so I'm actually looking forward to a little bit more of a challenge to sort of implement those properly. And I'll talk more about what that means and what that's going to look like as I get into the game. But what I really want to say is thank you for that. And if you have any more suggestions or you make an observation, feel free to pipe in. That's the funnest part about this, is sort of growing and learning together. So I look forward to seeing those in the future. So let's go ahead and start a new game. We're going to play on an enormous map. We'll go ahead and click that. And we've already played, our society settings have been the Dark Ages, Agricultural, and Empire, leaving these three to explore. Now, we could go back and play at another one, that's not really a big problem, but we are playing as a class that is very dependent on sacrifices, and so reading through these, the Fallen Empire and the Monarchy, those sort of cities and towns and hamlets have been destroyed, and they are few and far between. I'm not sure if that necessarily means we'll have less sacrifices, but to be on the safe side, I think we're going to go ahead and choose Dawn of a New Empire, because it does say down here that the cities are growing once again. So there should be some humans for us to sacrifice for sure. So we'll do that. Now I am going to play with an ally, and I usually don't like that, but it should be interesting. I sort of want to keep it varied a little bit. It might be fun to maybe meet them halfway or be able to sort of rely on them a little bit. But what I absolutely hate and cannot stand is clustered starts, because then you just end up competing for resources with your AI and can't attack them. And you know, if they happen to be a class that moves quicker, then they're going to grab resources next to you first. So I've never actually played with an ally, but I have started a game, and you do start out right next to each other. And so no, we're definitely going to avoid that. We're also not going to have a common cause, because you know, that goes both for us and the players we're playing against. That, you know, once a Empire class falls, I want them to be gone, and I don't want any sort of chance of them coming back, because the game could go on forever that way. So anyway, we all have our own individual destinies, and as always, the score graph will be enabled, so we can take a peek if we want to, though I never have. But it's better to have it and not use it than to want it and not have it, kind of thing. So that's that there. Let's go ahead and click OK. And this is where things are going to get interesting for sure. So here's my thought on this. And like I said, I have no idea how this is going to work out at all, but we'll go ahead and see. So sort of to keep things varied, I'm going to play with a nice dark red, because we haven't used that color before. And it sort of goes as a nice way to, for my thumbnails for YouTube, I like to have a different colored theme. So that's really what that's about this time. I try to sort of pick something that goes along with the class. In that case, it would be green, but you know, we played as green before, and I got tired of that color. And our ally is going to be something very, very different like this, just so we can identify them easily as our own player. So anyway, we have ourselves and our AI team here, which we're going to keep on Jester. He might die right away, he might not, we'll see. But that's that there. And then we're going to give this a go. So there's 1 team, 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams, 5 teams. So it should look something like this. So we'll have 5 teams we're playing against, a total of 10 opponents. And what I'm hoping this will do and I'm not sure if it's going to matter if it's not clustered start or not, but I'm hoping to sort of mitigate the issue where people die right away. And maybe sort of clumping them in teams will help, maybe not. I'm guessing a clustered start would be better for that, but I'm not willing to sort of compete with my own AI for that. So it might not help at all. But either way, we'll have 3 teams that we're going against, and they should all be different colors. Let's try to give them similar colors just so we know what's going on. Oh, we can do that. We can just give them the same color. Let's do that. So we'll give them blue and blue. Sorry for all this logistics stuff, guys. That's I know that's sort of not fun to watch, but it's all right. So we'll give them that color. Let's go like pinkish for these guys. And what else is left? Maybe a yellow for these guys. Okay. So that way we at least know who's on the same team. And I am going to keep our team as a different color just because things could get confusing as I'm looking at the map when we're looking at like stuff owned. It might get confusing with the AI because it is sort of good to know what they have and who we're attacking. But I'd rather sort of just have a good idea of what team they're on, just for more for fun's sake. And we can call them blue, green, you know, as sort of a label. So anyway, there's that. And I'm also going to do this. I'm going to give us, and if you guys have been watching, you'll know who it's going to be. It's going to be the Senator. He's going to be our arch nemesis and ultimately the guy we're trying to take down. Even though it doesn't make much sense on the map, he's sort of my nemesis. I've been trying to play him for a while, and he gets eliminated. So I really want to tackle him. I like playing against the Senator because I like sort of destroying society. Like, you know, they sort of represent every reason I play video games, to get away from what is normal, right? I want to go and play in a fantasy land. And the Senator has, like, you know, pretty standard troops and standard mages, and they're sort of like the vanilla race. But we're going to put him on Knight, which is pretty high. I'm a little nervous about that. So hopefully, kind of cross our fingers, he's like on the other side of the map and like not right next to us, because that could be bad. But anyway, that will sort of be like our final challenge. He very well still could be eliminated, but maybe this will help for sure. So that's that. Let's go ahead and start by looking at the Bakemono and selecting them. Now, without reading through all of this, essentially we once controlled a bunch of demons called the Oni. Vice versa. The Oni once controlled us. They were a bunch of demons, and we did some shenanigans and actually took over their mountain forest, and a mountain fortress. And now we rule them, and we rule this area, and those are the guys that we summon to sort of fight for us. So we are sort of the slaves that have become the owners, if that makes sense there. So we are sorcerers, so we are performing rituals, and like anything else, the more sort of resources we put to it, the better. Although it is really unique because down here it says the summoning can also be performed without any sacrifices, but will anger the spirit or demon. So we can actually give it a shot and try to get him for free, which I'm guessing is not advisable, especially with this says higher level demons. But if we get desperate or something like that, we can give it a go. Or if it's like not a big deal to fight against them, that's a mechanic I'm probably not going to play with too much, but it will be interesting to see and at least have that as an option. So there's that. Of course, we're getting sacrifices from these areas here, hamlets, villages, and settlements, so those will be some key resources for us. But we get free units from mountain strongholds and mines. So a mountain stronghold is where we start in the beginning, I believe, and so we'll get free units from the get-go. Probably not a whole lot, but we'll see what that looks like. And then any mines we capture will give us additional units, and so that might actually turn out to be a nice thing for policing areas. If we can get a commander in that area, that will be helpful. Plus, all our mines will automatically be generating its own defenses. So that'll be a nice perk, I think. I don't think it'll be like a game changer for us or anything, but it will be a nice perk. That's one less thing we'll have to do in those specific areas. Anyway, so there are the Bakemono for us. And then for the AI, I gave this a fair amount of thought. Now, it's always fun to sort of have your own lore. Like I said, like it would sort of make sense, like the witch and the warlock would go nicely together, right? Or maybe the demonologist or the necromancer or something. However, there is also something to be said. If you do that, then you're competing for resources. So even though we're not starting off together, you know, like if you have two races that are both using swamps, then that's just less swamps for you. So let's use someone that's not generating sacrifices like the demonologist, but rather maybe the necromancer because they're looking for hands. And I'm not hugely familiar with I mean, we had it last time, but I wasn't paying enough attention. But I don't think we should be competing for resources too much. And also, they came in second place, so at least those of you that voted for him will get to see him, albeit not directly, but at least he'll be in the game. So we have the Bakemono and the Necromancer, and let's see what else I was going to do. I was going to do one more thing with our teams here. One will be Butler, and the other will be Jester. And I don't know, that just sort of makes sense. Like, there'll be a strong version and a weak version of that team that will make things a little bit interesting. Maybe not, I don't know, but let's just keep things varied. We don't want to throw them all on Jester. So I have played on Jester mostly. I think the Demonologist actually ramped it up, but this means that we'll have easy, difficult, and hard, essentially. We'll see how that goes. And we want unique random players, so there's that. And we'll go ahead and call that good and think about our guy's name. So as you guys know, I have some difficulty pronouncing names. That's not a lie. So I like to choose a name that is both sort of like meaningful yet easy to pronounce. So I did a little bit of Googling for cool Japanese demon names, and I chose Baku. And Baku is an auspicious, I love that word. If you guys ever played Shogun Total War, they'd be like, "Oh, very auspicious indeed, sir." It was very fun to hear. So auspicious being that eats bad dreams, I think. So that sort of seems cool. He was sort of like the hero that is going to take the Nightmare of Elysium and return it to the Bakemono. Plus it sort of sounds like Bakemono, Baku. Anyway, it sort of works really well. So we're actually going to call this series Legends of Baku. So that's going to be our hero we're going to follow. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here while it generates. It is a larger map. They do take a little bit to render. And then we are going to come back for the start of things. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, we are here. Our game and our map are generated. So as you see, let's take a quick look at our opponents. Of course, we are the Bakemono, and we are fighting against, or we're fighting with the Necromancer here. And now we have the Dwarf Queen and the Markgraf, which sort of makes sense. Hobbits and dwarfs fighting against each other in the blue. The Enchanter and the Pale One in green. The Barbarians and the Barons in sort of this brown, which that's an interesting combination. The Voice of El and the High Cultist, that seems like they go well together as well. In the pink, the Illusionist and the High Priestess in yellow, and of course the Senator in this sort of like regal grayish blue. So I like how those were paired up. That's very, very nice. We may very well lose half of the guys, if not more, in the beginning of the game, but we'll see how that goes. So we'll have to remember that. If we zoom out a little bit, it looks like our Necromancer friend is not too far away from us, which is nice. They're close enough that we can eventually sort of come together and share borders, which will give us a nice buffer since it looks like we're starting off in the middle of the map. And not so close that our initial resources will be cramped. Now, we're still going to be competing for resources, obviously, but what I don't want is a situation where we're trying to hurry and grab areas from the beginning and like they sort of like choke us out from the beginning, because things could move a little bit slow depending on what our creatures are looking like here. So let's take a look at our initial surroundings, which is not much. We'll have to do some exploring. No mountains, no mines. There's just a watchtower here, which is guarded by a significant force. Depending on how powerful my forces are, the fact that they're fortified, there's a ballista, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, ballista. Some powerful, not too powerful, but yeah, some pretty powerful longbowmen and some pretty good armored troops along with a Knight Lord. So not something you want right away, especially considering it doesn't give us anything except for expanded vision, a defensive location, and a place to spawn units. So I'd be better off to sort of explore around and try to get gold and sacrifices. So there's that. Let's take a look at Baku, our fearless leader, not fearful leader, hopefully our fearless leader, Baku. Let's look at his special abilities, which are, as sort of we guessed, we can summon lesser beings, and we can also summon greater beings for the normal amount of resources. Now, what's interesting, and maybe I missed this with previous summoning classes, but we can reduce this and really, really gamble if we need to. again, not wise. Always better to sort of err on the side of caution. So we're looking at least initially, to be safe, somewhere in the realm of 30 sacrifices before we get our first lesser being. Can be cast anywhere. Same thing as we've seen before. So we'll know more about what those guys look like when we summon them. I wonder, it could be completely different, or it could be sort of some of the creatures like we had with the witch or the demonologist. I'm not sure. So there's that. It looks like our sub-commander is not a mage, unfortunately. He's just a regular old dude. So we only have one spellcaster. So, that's not the greatest thing in the world. He's a pretty standard leader as far as his skills go. You know, nothing special. Let's look at Baku and his sort of special spellcasting. So he can cast Fear, which is nice. It could cause them to run. And I believe also causes damage. So we got a range of 8. That's really good. But it only works on one dude at a time. There's no burst. Disease, which I think sort of hampers them, and they lose an eye or they get sick or something, which sort of reduces their HP or reduces their attack value or some sort of stat like that. Again, very good, but against only one dude, that's something we're going to be looking at opponents who are not in quantity, rather just like one person or something like that. So there's that. Then we have Terror, which is actually the bigger version of Fear, which is much nicer. So we definitely, this sort of seems to make more sense for me. These are redundant. But that burst of 25 is nice. So we'll see how actually effective that is. Magic resistance, but great difficulty. Armor negating, only affects enemy units. That's also really nice. We don't have to worry about scaring our own dudes. So we could actually pair that with a cavalry if we wanted to. However, this Thunderhead... Oh, that's actually, it's 3 strikes. Actually, this is nice. Has the potential to do some major damage, especially for early on units we're facing. It's slow to cast, so if he waits the first turn, the second turn we're going to hit it. If he decides to do this first, it's going to be 3 turns before that's cast. But essentially, it has the ability to just take out units right away, or at least cause heavy damage. And so, depending on our scenario, that could be fairly powerful. So, with that said, that seems like a good combination of things. He's Kurodo, level 2. If anyone knows what that means, go ahead and let me know. I'll have to Google it later, but that's his specialty. So, we'll have to see if we can't get another mage. I'm sure we'll have access to it eventually. Hopefully, we get someone who is of the same summoning abilities. If he's our only summoner in the game, that could make things very, very difficult, because getting those beings around the map will require ferrying. And as we grow, that will make things fairly difficult. So anyway, there's that. Let's take a look at our recruitable units here. And that is interesting. So did we have any messages? Obviously not, because I think they're in special color. So we have a lot of options, actually, for not a whole lot of gold. I mean, the enchanter, it costs 20 gold to recruit a unit, or I'm sorry, 50 gold, and was it 10 iron? 5 iron for some. It was 5 iron. So relatively cheap units just by looking at it. And these guys don't cost any iron. So let's take a look at them. The bowmen are, as expected, really crappy archers. So they have no armor, very low HP, and have crappy weapons. So these guys are essentially one-hit kills for most things, for sure. So, crappy bowmen, crappy clubmen with no armor, a little bit better. So still crappy units with a low attack, pretty normal attack there, 1 to 5. So, again, not that expensive, though. Archers, so same thing, just you get 1 armor. So for 1 iron, you add an armor factor to your hit point, which there's still probably going to be 1-hit kills, depending on what you're attacking and what that armor is able to negate. So it might add a wee bit of longevity, but for 1 iron, I'm guessing unless there's a certain scenario, these guys are going to get spammed a lot. And we'll see what we face. It all depends on what's going on. So it seems like we are initially going to be faced with quantity and not quality, but we'll see what happens when we can start summoning and what sort of we get as we move on. So, because Baku is our only spellcaster, we're going to leave him behind for now. Although I really would like to do some exploring. I'd like to sort of explore this way, because I hate to say this, but our initial sort of land grab is going to be against our allies, and we want to make sure that they don't, although they're keeping whatever resources they grab won't be used against us, but they can't be used for us. So maybe we'll move up and over and sort of look for settlements that way. So what's his name? We'll call him Yuki. Yukahide. Yuki is going to be our initial force for that. So here's what I'm going to try to do better this game is keep my armies organized in a way that can be beneficial. So I'd love to have a cavalry army, although I don't think I have any cavalry at this point that I can get at least normally. But we don't want cavalry rushing in and getting hit by magical spells or other units mixed in with cavalry, so it's slowing them down. I'm going to try my best to sort of keep things organized logically. So these guys, I don't think there's any reason to keep these guys separate. It'd be nice if I could I could keep the spearmen. They have a higher attack value. Actually, that's sort of nice to have that high attack next to some cannon fodder. So we're going to go ahead and transfer all units to Homeboy here to start off with. And that does sort of centralize our army, but I think we're going to need that at first while we're just beginning, as is typical. So that looks like it might be some fungus right there. I don't see any other logical place to go. So what we're going to go ahead and do is try to just do as much exploring as we can until we can find a hamlet or village. We need those sacrifices and gold to start building up our army. As is, in a few turns we'll have 30 and we'll be able to get him a force. And we are also getting units there. I should actually look at that. Okay, so he's alone right now. So next turn, whatever's here should be a unit that is spawning here freely. So we'll have to take a look at that. And now this is nice. I saw this with the dwarves. This is a highly defensible area, so that also reduces the number of units I have to leave here for the most part. So I think essentially this is impenetrable, this sort of wall here. So this is not only a narrowing factor with the gate, but this also narrows. I think this is essentially impenetrable. Maybe ethereals or something could penetrate it, but for the most part, I think the only way to attack me is via these few little spaces here. So that's a nice bottleneck for sure. Leaving a bunch of archers could be handy in the front line there to sort of whittle those guys down. And then just having a few melee units here to take on what busts through the gate would be nice. So again, highly defensible area for sure. So there's that. I could pop out with Baku a little bit, but I don't want to risk losing my only summoner in the very beginning there. Okay, so there's that. We'll have to end turn. Things might take a little bit longer here. I do have a decently fast computer, but I am playing on a very large map with lots of AI. So it's also good to see who... Let's see, man, look at all those resources he's run into there. So there's that. Towns and hamlets tend to be clustered together, so he might not go for them completely because that's not necessarily his forte. There's a magic library guarded by a level 2 Arcana magic, a level 2 Silver Arcana, and Gandalf here, the White Wizard. So yeah, those guys are pretty powerful. They got some cool items though. Coral Ring, which gives them pierce resistance. Magic Lamp, which summons an air elemental. We know that's very powerful from last time. So yeah, gonna be a while, but we know there's a library there just in case. So let's actually move Yuki down one, and we'll move him through the forest. Just sort of running him in circles a little bit. We don't want to get caught up in the forest too early because that's going to slow us down. We want to get as much area explored initially as possible. Okay, so nothing is summoned here. Interesting. That maybe it's every other turn or something. I'm not sure. There's that. Let's end turn. Things are moving slow in the beginning as usual. Okay, so now we have a general that's available, which we don't think we want yet for sure. Let's go ahead and see what he looks like, though. Yeah, typical, just like our other general. Nothing special. Oh, so we do have 2. So that averages out to 1 per turn. I'm not sure if it's like a dice roll each time, if they're always going to be. Oh, I can't remember. I think these are the only guys that spawn here. I don't think it's anything else. But either way, so we are getting, it looks like 1 per turn. Maybe that was a glitch or something, but at least it's averaged to 1 per turn, which really comes out to this. Let's look at this. In 5 turns, we will have generated 25 gold worth of sort of creatures. So that's like 5 gold per turn, which isn't shabby. It's very specialized, you know, doesn't quite equate to that, but essentially it does. So, interesting. I'm going to go ahead and move out here. Bandits and such. It's going to slow us down, but I could take them down. I'll go ahead and take down the bandits. There we go. That's what I want to find. A town would be great. Probably not going to be able to take that on yet, but those guys we can definitely capture. And these tend to be clustered, so hopefully we find some other areas that will give us access to what we need. So it's gonna be a slow start, though. You know, it always is. I could take some risks and go aggressive with him. Once I get some units, because he is a pretty powerful mage. Like, he could take on a moose, I think. What is that? And sort of explore up in this way and see if I couldn't, at least, if not find another settlement. So there's that. Let's watch our first battle. Let's go see how these guys behave. Archers, obviously moving really well. Look how weak those guys are, though. Slingers are taking them down in 1 shot. So, the longevity of my army is not good until I get some buffing spells or something. Okay, so now we have 3 different recruitment offers here. So let's take a look at that. I'm just taking a look around here. Okay. Okay, so they're not commanders. Of course, we can't afford them yet, but they're essentially premium units. So let's take a look at the archers. Good HP, good armor, an excellent weapon, an excellent standard weapon with a longbow. So these guys aren't bad. They have a good ranged attack mixed with a great sort of melee weapon. So these guys are sort of the all-around warrior, which is very nice. Very expensive, though, and you only get 3 of them. So again, anything you're buying is going to be expensive. But used in their right situation, those guys could be quite powerful. Like, can't think of any sort of examples right now, but we'll have to keep that in mind. Those are definitely seem like the more powerful. Yes, so they're essentially these guys with a bow, right? 1-9, +2. So that +1, I can't. That extra damage here at the end once it hits is a little bit less, but and they have 1 more HP. But yeah, if you had to choose, these guys you get so much more for the same price. So anytime, I think these guys, depending on what else shows up, are going to be the biggest bang for a buck. I'm not sure why you would ever go for these guys. You know, they have a little bit more longevity. Is their strength different? No. Rank mid. Oh, front. Yeah. So there's, you know, they are moving forward a little bit. So in that situation, they would be better. But essentially, those archers are what we want. So those are available for purchase, although not now, obviously. Let's look how we're doing here. Again, we didn't generate. So maybe it's every other turn we're getting 2 or something. Interesting. I am going to be brave and just poke him out. I might take a movement penalty because of the snow. Yeah. There we go. And just pop out and pop back just to get a view up there. So this iron mine is not heavily guarded, and I believe that's going to give us a spawn point as well. So these guys are essentially even weaker than my units because they got the same attack, but they have horrible HP. So in theory, we could actually get him to do it. But that's going to be my next step. 1 for the gold, which will be nice, and 2 for the, I believe it's going to help us recruit those spawning units too. So let's go ahead and, oh crap, the farm doesn't give us any, it only gives us gold. Dang. Oh well, we'll go ahead and attack that. Nestled in a little valley here. And hit end turn. So again, these guys, these archers are really going to hurt my dudes. Not bad, though. No deaths yet. Better. Okay. Those guys should heal. So we're generating some extra gold now. Not ideal, but it's going to work. Okay, so we got another option for, again, some more Bakemonos. But let's look at these guys. 25 gold, no iron for 1 troll. Okay, so he's essentially got he's got the same HP value as 3 of these guys combined. So you get the same amount of HP for half the gold, and for no iron you get a decent attack. So you would ask yourself this question: why would you use him versus them? So we got 15 HP, so you get more sort of reliability, you get more HP. And then, you know, these guys do multiple attacks, so with a lesser attack, less damage per round, but for more HP. So the question is, when is it better to use him versus these guys? Now, the one thing is, those guys are... Interesting. Now I've got 3. Oh, and this guy is... So maybe it is random. So this guy came up. Does a little bit more damage. So it is a varying of units. You're already generating them here. And so in 5 turns-ish, it looks like it sort of varies, but around 5 or 6 turns, I'm going to get them anyway for free. So why not go ahead and recruit these guys and give me that punch? Give me that one guy that can take a beating and sort of maybe break. Is he front? He is. So he's not fast or anything, but he is gonna move ahead and want to sort of bust people with his club. So let's go ahead and grab him, also just to see what he does. So now we have this sort of big guy that can move forward. Are these guys front as well? And hopefully be able to take some damage out. I'd like to, before I start doing any shenanigans with him, go ahead and get a couple more units there. So, not yet. Now, unfortunately, this ancient forest is a pain in the butt because it's going to make policing this area difficult. So I'm just going to have to come back here. So I'm going to go ahead and take out this snake. I'm probably not going to be able to take out this ancient forest right away, but that's going to have to be on my radar so that I can stop these animals from taking over these areas. God, this town has got to come down somewhat soon, but I'm in no shape to do it yet. I'm going to need some summoning done before I can do it. Oh, I'm glad I did that because there's a hamlet. Good. So now I can sort of stay in this area and focus on keeping this area policed for now. And we'll work on grabbing this mine with him later. I do need gold in the beginning, actually. It's very important because I want another commander. So there's that. Nothing I can do yet. So let's go ahead and end turn. Things are moving slowly. So again, this should be no big deal here. So now I've got that area safe from the snakes, and I can move into that hamlet and grab that. Hopefully there's another hamlet next to it. They usually do spawn in pairs. Unfortunately, they're now guarded by Deer Tribe warriors, which are decently powerful. These bowmen essentially are going to one-hit kill my Bakemono. So I'm going to take pretty heavy casualties amongst these guys, amongst everyone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, one-shot kill for all these guys. So not ideal, but I need that gold. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Let's go ahead and just sneak around and just see if there's something easier. There's not. So next turn we'll get that. For now, how we looking here? I think I spawned this archer. Cool, a little hodgepodge army. Not too bad yet. I could probably go ahead and take on those dudes now, but let's wait another turn and see what happens. End turn. There's that. Okay, come on. Wow, we've lost our ally. Crap. Well, he's dead. What was that? What did that message say? Oh, I forgot. Who killed him? Crap. Well, our ally's dead. And out of all of the races to die first, it had to be him, of course. So, there's an ocean here. At least he did some scouting for us. Well, that's crappy. But we know that north is probably, you know, sort of logically speaking, it tends to be continental. So this is probably the end of the map. So we probably want to move south. We know that, I think he got killed by the Independents. There's something here that's sort of endangering us. But at least we know that there's some hamlets and villages here for the taking and a library. So he didn't do a whole lot of good, but at least we have something from him. Well, crap. Boy, that's going to be bad if he's the only one. Oh, look, they left. Excellent. Take that for free, most definitely. I'm going to have to eventually take them on because they're going to sort of rob me. So now we are finally generating sacrifices. Albeit it's going to be a very long time before we can do one. At least it's happening for sure. So with that said, let's see what we have here now. So we have a decent army. One ranged unit. I think we can go. This guy is going to give me the edge. We're going to go ahead and transfer all units to his control and move this way. Oh, excellent. And grab those guys. Now this is going to continue to spawn. It's in trouble right now. Not in trouble, but it's at risk right now. So we'll need to police it so we don't lose our capital. But for now, we can grab these. It's more important that I grab resources. So let's go ahead and move here and grab this hamlet. So now we're going to get an extra sacrifice per month. We'll go ahead and grab this mine so we have that extra area of unit spawning, and then grab that. And just try our best to police this area until we can sort of get a third army going. I'm not going to take them on yet because, not unless I have to. They might move on. So we'll see. Dang, the Necromancer is dead. Well, honestly, that's kind of I mean, we would end up competing for resources. Okay, bunch of stuff we can't afford. They're probably going to just run around trying to intimidate us. These guys, oh, what is that? -1? Or is that just -1? Huh. Okay, let's go ahead and attack. There's a giant forest mushroom. Okay, so this should go fairly well. These guys have no ranged units, so none of these guys are in danger of getting hit until we actually get there. In the meantime, my wizard can actually cast some spells that should, if not eliminate them, highly damage them before I get there. And I'm going to watch that closely to see how that sort of looks. We'll see in a little bit. Nothing there. Let's go ahead and end turn. Okay, so what I'm talking about is to see... so my archer is going to take them on. Okay, so hopefully lightning should be cast next. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, those goblin, I was trying to see what that -1 did, but I couldn't really tell if it actually had a chance of reducing that after a hit. Okay, we've lost the High Cultist as well, so it is still happening. Again, I think maybe that cluster start would have helped, but I wasn't willing to sort of do that. Another option for a general. Definitely not going to have enough gold, but I am generating 6 gold per turn now, soon to be more. We are going to move him down here as quickly as we can. And now that those dudes have sort of vanished, let's go ahead and do a little bit more scouting with Yuki here. As slow as it's going to be, we're going to try to move him out into the mountains and see if we can find like another mine or something. So again, I think these guys spawned. So that's going to actually help. So right here is 25 gold worth of troops. I just got to get them together. All the more reason to get that third commander. But we can use him for now. So as much as dire as things sort of seem, that's going to actually help us. So that's two places real close to each other that are constantly giving me units. So that's the more I don't have to focus on them, the more I can focus on specialized units and commanders. So cool. There's that. We don't want to make these guys too vulnerable, but we'll see. End turn. Okay, spring is here. Okay, so we're gonna move him there, and go ahead and try to move. We're taking a move. Oh, we took that movement penalty. That's right. Gonna have to wait another turn. In that case, let's go ahead and move back up, and we will try to gather what troops we can to make our army essentially doubled in size. So that's nice. This is a nice perk. Generating 2. Oh, these guys. I'm gonna lose that hamlet. I might end up swapping. That's what I need to do. This guy's a more powerful mage. So he's more powerful in battle. Like, I would love to take these guys on with him because he has that lightning and that wind. And so he has the ability to cause a good damage. So I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to swing around here and put him on the front lines this way. Because these guys are going to be a threat for a while until I can take them out. They're just going to keep bothering me. So next turn, it's going to be like 5 or 6 turns, but we're eventually going to do that there. So end turn again. Again, things are moving a little bit more slowly with this game for sure. So now we have even more units. So excellent. This is going to work out well. And eventually he'll be on the front lines and we'll be able to summon. And that will allow him to sort of be a little bit more useful as well. Although we have to be very cautious because he's our only dude. Move you into the forest. Let's actually move up here, and we'll just do a little bit of exploring while we can. We're going to end turn because that's all we can do. Okay. Again, same sort of offer. I'd like to get another... Let's think about this. To save, my thought, to save for another commander or to get... I'm not going to buy any of these units. I just don't see the benefit right now of getting, oh, you know, those extra little... I'm not sure how much that extra armor is going to matter. So what does it say? Incoming damage is reduced by the armor value minus 0 or 1 before dealing damage. So something comes in and hits me and deals 3 damage. Okay, let's look at that example. 3 damage. It hits the armor. The armor can either not block it, minus 0, and it's going to kill my dude, or actually block it by 1, and it will only cause 2 damage. So that 1 extra armor, it's not doing a whole lot, but it could basically allow my units to take 1 more hit. And for 1 iron, yeah, I'm not using iron for anything else. Maybe actually I take that back. Maybe it would be good to go ahead and grab those, because I don't think those guys are spawning. No, it's all the low-level dudes. So there's no reason to sort of not spend that extra iron right now anyway. So let's go ahead and look at what our possibilities are. Like, could we grab these swordsmen? And they do a little bit extra damage. For 3 iron. Iron's not really a commodity right now, so we could. We could get something like these archers, or we could save for a commander, which does nothing for our military, but gives us... I think it's best right now to save for the other commander. We don't have any major threats. He can allow us to scout a little bit more. Excellent. We're going to kill those guys and grab that hamlet. And again, we're going to run into a situation where we need an active policing force. So commander it is. Commander it is. Okay, so we're going to move over and grab these guys next, which will give us a good-sized army for sure. Okay, there's that. We have 7 sacrifices that we can make. Let's end turn. Okay, there's that. Summer is here. No major actions. Have we lost anything? We have not yet, though these elk, I think, are probably going to take back the hamlet. But for now, we can go ahead and grab that, giving us an extra sacrifice. Even better, we have a village here with 2, and here's a city. Okay, wow. Okay, these are all good things for sure, because there's a lot of potential resources close to our home base. A lot that are out of our reach right now. But if we can come up with the policing force, we have a decent start here if I can keep these. So Baku is going to go ahead and move here, and we're going to transfer these units to his control. Since he's taking a movement penalty, next turn we'll get to add a little bit more, and he will be moving with a sizable force to this area to police. Now I can't take on too much. I have to be cautious with him, but things are looking good. And let's go ahead and grab this village for free. Even better, we have a lot of these unguarded resources. That's 2, 4, 6. So it's worth it for him just to stay here to protect these, because that's more than that's here. So this will be an area that we're going to guard for sure. And things are working out well. This is good, guys. This is good. Things are working out good. I'm happy. I'm happy so far. Okay. Okay, so we have our general, which we can go ahead and get. A wealthy merchant is across the land traveling through the country. He has recently come ashore to the west, north, east, southwest. So probably far. It's a huge map. It's probably not anywhere close to us. I'm assuming I'm on either just the middle or the, who knows what's over here. I'm on the north side of the map for sure. Okay, Baku is, oh, let's not forget to transfer my 1 unit to him, and then we're going to move you down this way to do some policing, and we're going to move you there. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Look at that. So we have 1, 3, 5, 6 sacrifices we're now getting from this highly defensible area. Maybe more up here. So what I mean by highly defensible is it's in the plains. It doesn't take very many moves to move between them. So this one guy is able to guard 7 resources essentially. So that's good. Very, very soon, within the next few turns, we're going to be able to do our summoning. So we'll get to take a look at them before part 1 is over. Now, I have to warn you guys, my schedule got really, really messed up with Christmas and trying to finish the other. So I'm going to try my best to get 2 episodes out. But I won't be able to, this is Saturday, I won't be able to record again until Monday, so I might miss a day. I sincerely apologize about that. But that won't happen once I can get back on schedule. So we'll do my best. Maybe I can sneak in an episode. We'll find out. So there's that. Let's go ahead and recruit our general. Oh, he does cost iron. I'm glad I noticed that. So we'll go ahead and recruit him. Nothing special, right? Nope. So we still have 22. So the next turn we could get someone if we wanted to. But we still have... So we have a general now, and we can fill him up with, oh, he's all by himself now, with like these guys, and it won't be very long before he can sort of just police this area here and do some exploring. So all in all, excellent, excellent, as Burns would say, Mr. Buns. So there's that. Let's end turn. We're attacking a coastal hamlet. We have a rock slinger, but my archers should make quick work of them, because they're not armored as well. So this guy has, again, so against units like this, I'm not too bad. That armor would have actually been, would have negated that attack completely. So, but it's such a narrow thing. You know, it might be worth it to see. We'll see later on in the game as we progress, see what iron is useful for. We can sort of consider that. So, okay. What next? Okay. We're going to be able to... We could summon now, but of course, let's be cautious and wait. We are getting extra units. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this way. Holy cow. Excellent. Look at that. 3 more sacrifices in this area. This is highly lucrative for us. So, again, very defensible. Let's go ahead and take out these slingers. because they're just going to cause havoc before we take on these guys. These are lowly defendable areas. So we'll kill them and grab these and have a good amount of sacrifices available. That's just sort of blind luck. I mean, not really blind luck. There was essentially a 1 in 4 chance. I can only really focus on one area of exploration at a time unless you end up doing circles, but I'm glad we saw that. Or else I could be screwing around in this forest and I would have missed out on a lot of resources. So there's that. We're going to move you here to defend that. I would be pretty confident in taking these guys on this turn, but we'll see what the summoning gives us for sure. Let's just see what we got going on here. Oh, I think I already checked this turn, right? Okay. I have 42 gold. I could rush things along a little bit and give myself some archers would be nice. I could get one of these big guys. They've sort of been handy to have. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and give him this guy. Just that nice little extra power unit in this hodgepodge army, I think is going to work well. Actually, I'm sort of regretting that now because I definitely could have used archers, but it'd be soon enough that I can go ahead and grab those to give him that ranged ability too. Either way, next turn we're going to be able to do some summoning, and let's go ahead and end that there. Okay. Got some archers there. Dudes are going to take a beating for sure. I have to be careful with my commander against other armies because he is sort of what, against anything sort of powerful, he is vulnerable. Okay. There we go. Again, I knew it, but these guys are taking a beating, but that's okay. It was worth it to keep that roaming force from undoing all my hard work. Okay. So there's that, and the hunters are going to attack us, which is unfortunate, but I'm not too worried about things because, yeah, they're already down quite a bit. So this guy is going to be fine. He's going to be able to take him on. My wizard should cast some magic here soon. Oh, what spawned there? I'm going to pause it. Deer trial. Oh, it was a shaman that called up the ancestor. Ooh, I missed that. That was good to know. Okay, battle's over. Okay, we can get these units. So I was able to conquer them. This guy's slow. We'll have to figure out a way to give him some time to cast his spells. Okay, so now what we can do is use our special power, bump it up to 150 because we don't want to be screwing around right now, and go ahead and summon. So let's see what our beans are going to look like. Excellent. Okay, so we have Camelin, the Tengu Weapon Master. Okay, so it looks like he's sort of a flying bean. Everyone at this location will get experience points boost every month. So that's sort of huge, right? Like, that adds extra points to my guys every month. So that could stack up quite well. He has storm magic. So he can cast 2 spells at once, maybe? That's awesome. The Tengu has the appearance of man with the head, hands, and feet of a crow. It might look hideously ugly, but it's still much more civilized than the Oni, which can be seen in the Tengu's use of sophisticated clothes and weapons. The Tengu is also capable of wielding storm magic with which it can blast its enemies from a distance. So, good HP, good attack with magic capability, so he's going to give us that ability to strike those creatures that we need to. So, all in all, our units are sort of weak, but this is a very cheap and powerful being that we can cast somewhat regularly. So look at that. That's going to add nicely to our army. Plus, he's going to stat boost all these guys as they gain experience. They could gain HP or strength or something like that. So very good. Let's go ahead and finish this turn, and then we'll call it good for this part. And I think Yuki can go ahead and take on these guys. They're armored, but they'll fall quite easily. Actually, yeah, so there's a good chance that my archers and stuff won't do that much damage. It could be a little bit sketchy. We'll see. There's only 3 of them, though. This guy's looking good there. Soon I'll take him over to pick up these troops, but it's not necessary yet. We have 37 units. Let's go ahead and give him the archers, right? We have plenty of iron to go through, plenty of iron to use. So that gives us these guys that actually have a little bit of armor, so that's going to help. And then they're going to give him some ranged ability. Maybe I'll actually do that again. They're actually cheap enough that having 10 archers would be nice to just have that ranged punch to whittle down your enemies. So there's that, and you're there. We're getting, so it's not going to be that many turns before we can do another spell. And just to see, oh, he's a commander as well. Perfect. So for now, we're actually going to transfer him under the, we're going to use him as just a regular unit right now. And let's go ahead and see what he can do on these deer. Cool, and another coal mine. That should give us another place to boost. So let's go ahead and watch him in battle and see what he does. And then we'll call it a turn. So there's that. So these guys, I'm a little worried about that actually. So, oh, maybe, no, never mind. So, I mean, the dice rolls, that was the extreme in my head of how poorly those dice rolls could go in my favor. But that went very well. Cool. So let's see how our new commander does. So let's just pause it here. Shock. So he's going to just one dude, he's going to shock. It's not slow to cast, so that's cool. Air shield, gives, what does that do again? I think that blocks incoming stuff. We'll see what happens when he casts it. We'll see what it says. Let's look at our units and see what their base stats are. Okay, nothing special. Okay, so, okay, there it is. So, he's cast air shield, and this guy is affected. So now he can deflect standard missile attacks, but not affect spells or siege engine missiles. The value of the air shield is the chance of blowing away an incoming projectile that misses the target. So now this guy has a 1. These two guys here, right, have a 75% chance of blocking projectiles. Does nothing for this battle, but that's good to know. So against units where they're going to be casting arrows, we'll definitely want this guy with us. Because look at that, 4 turns, and essentially my whole army is guarded against a good portion of my army is guarded against ranged weapons. So very cool indeed. Okay, there's that. It's going to be the conclusion of part 1. The enchanter's been eliminated. Okay, so we have lost our 2 AIs now. Not as bad as it was, but we've lost them. So, cool. Thank you for joining me. Again, we're just starting the game, so go ahead and put your comments below. It will be nice. Like I said, I do apologize about this, but this is going to go out Saturday night, and I might not get one up Sunday night, guys. I really am sorry for that. But as soon as I get back to my regular schedule, we'll be able to pump out 1 a day. If I can squeeze 1 in, I definitely will. Go ahead and comment below on what you think and things you saw and the advantages of playing this race, any weaknesses you see, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching part 1 of Legends of Baku, and we'll see you soon.